Do you know what really goes in your overhead budget? Do you even know what overhead is? For the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through what goes into overhead and what numbers should be put in there and why you need to do it. Hey there, I'm Scott Mulchan, the Million Dollar Landscaper, and I'm a landscape business coach who helps landscapers like yourself become more profitable by understanding the numbers. And like I said, in this video, we're going to dive into the overhead budget. And then what brought this up is actually one of the members of the landscape business owners Facebook group posted a question about his estimating and stuff. And I noticed he made this great spreadsheet and he has a few items in there for overhead. Now, I'm not sure there might have been more to it, but then what I saw, but he only had a few items in there. And I wanted to make sure that not only he understands, but everyone understands what really is in overhead and why you need to do it. And over the past, I don't know, about a month or so, we've been talking about, planning out your 2021 and kind of really diving into numbers and what numbers you need to know to be able to create those profitable estimates we all want. So, like I said, I want to dive into overhead, and I'm actually going to pull up a spreadsheet here that we have that's inside our Million Dollar Academy. So let me pull that up here. So when we pull up this spreadsheet here, on here, this is one of the calculators we have inside the Million Dollar Academy. Actually, this is a brand new one. This is like everybody's first time seeing it, but it's the same layout we've always had in the Academy. So these are just some of the examples that we give to our people that are inside our Million Dollar Academy to help them get thinking about what goes into overhead. So just, I'll take a quick step back here and just let everyone know that, overhead is basically the fixed, could be variable, but mostly fixed operational costs that's really not directly billable to a job. So when I tell people think about overhead, I tell them to think about items that you can't bill directly to a customer. So this is going to be like your advertisement. If you have any office supplies, computers, your CPA, bookkeeper, you can't really put that on an invoice to a customer. So these are types of things that need to be in your overhead. So as you see here, we have this list of all different things that go in here. So it's going to be either rent, it's going to be utilities, it could be your admin salaries, bookkeeper salaries, those types of things. And it's so important to really get all of these numbers in here. And this is what really is kind of the behind the scene numbers that run your business. So just to walk you through again, we have like our advertisements, bad debts. So if you have people that owe you money, every once in a while, hopefully not, but every once in a while we get those customers that will not pay. We need to recover that somehow. Otherwise, it's just coming out of our profits. So obviously we want to do our best to keep that down low, but we should kind of calculate some of that in there. Computers, software, any donations. So if you donate to your son's little league team or something like that, soccer team, all those types of things could be considered donations. I like to put in downtime labor. So you have to pay your people to maintain your equipment, do things around the shop. This is downtime labor. Just having those meetings, those trainings, those are downtime labor. So we have to be recovering it somehow. Otherwise, again, if you're not charging your customers for it, it's coming out of your pockets, out of your profits. Dues and subscriptions. So if you belong to any organizations, you can have a subscription to that. If you take any education or do any kind of education, interest and bank charges, I like to put in what our annual fee is that we have for our credit card purchase, credit card charges. I put that in there so everybody's getting charged for it. Cell phones, office equipment, so your desks, your computers, all those types of things, office supplies, pens, pencils, any of that type of thing, printer paper. And then this is something that kind of gets people somewhat confused, is your owner's salary. And not necessarily that that you need to get paid, because you should be getting paid, you should be charging customers for this, but one thing I always tell people, if you are a business owner and you're working out in the field, I'd like for you to really look at what percentage you're working on the field versus the percentage you're doing like your sales and admin types of things. That could be your bookkeeping if that's what you do. But look at it, and we want to divide that up. You want to put some of your salary that you want to get paid. So we'll just say, for example, you want to make $60,000 per year. You do 50% of your work in the field, 50% is, doing the admin types of things. So 30% of your, or sorry, 30,000 of your salary is going to go into your field labor. So it's not going to even be in here. So in this particular section, we'll put $30,000 in your owner's salary in here. Then we also have the labor and all that needs to be put in here. I like to include small tools and so like your shovels. Basically, I guess anything that doesn't have a motor. So I'll put shovels, rakes, brooms, those types of things in here. Taxes, that could be like asset taxes if you have to do that. If you have like a landline telephone, that should be in here. Uniforms, any utilities, so your gas, electric, NIPSCO, or I'm sorry, gas, electric, NIPSCOs from us in our area. Gas, electric, telephone, internet, anything like that. Then overhead, vehicles for your overhead. So if you have a vehicle that you drive around that's just for, going to the bank, going to do estimates, that type of thing would be in here. So these are some of the key items that I highly encourage you to, total up and realize, take a look at what it costs. You'll be surprised once you start putting these totals in here, what it costs you. Now we have to figure out a way that we're going to charge our clients for this. And one thing I always tell people too, so once you do all this overhead, imagine if you got this bill. And I learned this years ago from Charles Vanderkoy. He said, imagine getting this overhead bill at the beginning of the year, January 1st, you get this bill slapped on your desk. So whatever it is, 100,000, 50,000, whatever it is, you get this slapped on the desk. And until that bill is paid off, you're not making any money. So every little bit of your profit goes into paying this overhead. Once that's paid off, then you're making a true profit. And this typically doesn't happen until, usually for most landscapers, till later on the season. So we might be talking, September, October for some. And if it's sometimes even later than that, some people don't even get to that point. And the nice thing when you make a budget like this, if you do everything like we have in the academy, you figure out your cost of goods and everything, you can actually see what you're going to be making at the end of the year. So creating a budget does more than just figuring out what you need to charge your customers. You can figure out and see actually if you're going to be making a profit or not this year. Obviously we're predicting the future on all this stuff, but it's very important for everyone to understand what goes into a budget, an overhead budget, and to really calculate it out. Let me know, are you guys using this? Or not necessarily this, but are you creating a budget for your company? There are many softwares out there. If you don't, not in the spreadsheets, but there's many softwares out there that will help you do this. Element has a great one. Synced Up has an awesome one. Synced Up even has one online that you can do for free. So check that out. But it's nice because when you start making this, you can use this to help create an overhead recovery estimating system like we teach. I've talked about this multiple times online here. So it's important to kind of understand what goes in this overhead budget so you can really charge your customers properly. This was something that early on in our business really hurt us because we weren't watching our overhead. We just kept, buying this, buying that, and not really paying attention to it. And at the end of the year, we didn't have the money in the bank like we wanted to. And found out part of it was our overhead. Part of it was we had a lot of downtime labor and we weren't as productive, but a lot of it was our overhead. We weren't watching it. We weren't recovering it. We weren't charging enough to recover it. And when I see a lot of landscapers saying, just take the materials multiplied by 2 or 2.3 or 3 or whatever it is, you're hoping that that multiplication is going to cover this overhead. And it may for a while, but if it's, after a while, it may not, your business starts growing, and it's important to understand that. So I encourage you guys to really dive in and take a look at your overhead and see what's all in there. So for the person that made that post earlier, I wasn't trying to pick on you. I just wanted to question you to make sure you're recovering all that stuff, because of some of the numbers I saw in there may not been enough to recover all your overhead. So just keep in mind, don't just, like we say up here in our sticker, just do it dirty. Sometimes we have to dive in and just start looking at things and figuring out, and, don't be afraid that you might mess up, and, don't let perfection get in the way of progress. Like I said, just do it dirty. It's okay if you don't get it right the first time. You can always go back and fix it later. So just for more great tips like this, definitely check out the $1 Million Academy. It's where we got the training, tools, and support for a landscaper who wants to take control of the future and make 2020 the 2022, the most profitable year yet. All right, guys. Hope you're having a great evening. We'll talk to you soon. Oh, somebody. Oh, somebody just posted. Sorry, just started working on mine. Awesome. So congratulations on working on that. If you have any questions, let me know. Even after this show is over, put it down below. I'd love to see it. Just tag me in it. Put Scott Mulch in, and I'd love to help you out if you have any problems with it or you need me to look it over. I'm always willing to do that for everybody. So, all right, guys. I hope you have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.